Welcome to the Recluse's Cookbook. I'm your host, Vinnie McHale. The Recluse's Cookbook is a monthly podcast where I, your humble recluse, engage in one-on-one conversations with persons of substance. People who may not get the column inches in the media, but their work or life's events are remarkable. Our final guest in this series of the Recluse's Cookbook is dance producer and DJ Eoghan Farren, also known as Not That We Know. In this final conversation, Eoghan introduces me to the world of underground dance music. In this episode, Eoghan talks about how dance music made him feel and how it brought him to producing and recording his own. He discusses the importance of creating a contacts list to help him achieve his goal of becoming a professional gigging DJ. Not shy with sharing his experiences of creating dance music, Eoghan elaborates on trusting his ear. This just leaves me to say thank you for listening to this series of the Recluse's Cookbook. We'll return sometime in the new year. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Eoghan Farren, also known as Not That We Know. What's the best way to describe what it is that you do?
So I create electronic dance music with the main goal to make people dance on the dance floor and make them feel something on the dance floor. Because speaking from personal experience, being on the dance floor and listening to the music is just sometimes amazing. It's just euphoric, like for me, and I really love that aspect of dance music. So
your project is Not That We Know.
Yeah, that's the stage name.
Yeah. How did you come to this? So how did you come to that conclusion that right, this is what I want to do?
Well, I was working away in video production. Doing a lot of filming, and I was doing web design too. And I'm still doing a bit of that, a bit of web design. The video production's kind of fallen through with COVID. And COVID, I guess, it's a terrible thing, but the good point of it is it gives people more time to kind of focus on what they want to do, in terms of a career, say. So I found myself with a lot more time to kind of delve into the music. I was creating stuff way back years and years, like maybe you're going back probably to 2012, when I started kind of thinking about making stuff and started making stuff. And then with having the extra time to work on stuff, I started into that and kind of started finishing some of the productions that I started back in 2012. And then I just kind of took it a lot more serious then, probably about a year ago. Because about a year ago, I started marketing properly. And I started actually putting the tracks out there that were finished. And yeah, I've been at that ever since. I still have a good bit of time, thankfully. Doing a bit of web design on the side, but a good bit of time to work on the music, so I'm happy out,
Okay, you mentioned a word there that I find very interesting, and music artists or film artists or theatre artists don't actually mention it, but it's a very important part. Marketing. Can you tell us what that entails for you and the medium that you work in?
Well, for me, I am doing everything on my own. A one-man project. So I'm doing the production, I'm doing the marketing, and I'm doing the performing as well. So the marketing really revolves around social media. And also emailing DJs, producers, people in the industry with the music, and trying to get the word out there as much as possible. And it was important for me to kind of try and build a brand around the music. Yeah. So that's where the name Not That We Know came into being, and the logo that I made for that, and then trying to kind of promote that as much as I can and get the word out there,
That's there again, you've happened on something else, which I think is a daily thing that does happen, but we never hear about it. You said emailing producers and so on. Can you bring us more into that and how you go about it? Because there'll be people here now who'd be starting careers, or maybe they're thinking of changing careers into something else. And this is a big part of it, going out and putting yourself forward. Can you tell us how you began with that and how you just brought us through it, bring us through step by step?
Yeah, so I'm still in the early stages of that. But what I did start doing is building up a contact list. And I found emails online, say on people's SoundCloud, say for DJs, and I also found just radio station emails on their own websites, on the station's websites, and Facebook actually is quite a good place to go get people's kind of contact details, emails and direct messaging. That's very good for that, because the best thing about Facebook, I guess, is the groups. There's so many people in the groups, and then once you see, say, a post about an event, it might have maybe 4 or 5 different DJs on that event. And I actually literally saw one of those, and I actually saw the email contacts for those DJs, and I just added them to the list then. So I'm always building the list basically to try and get more and more people on,
Yeah, that's so the end goal here, Eoghan, is to by building up a contacts list and emailing DJs and producers, your end goal is what? To get your music distributed by, say, a label or an online platform, or is it to begin a career gigging live?
The latter, gigging live. Yeah, that's my main goal at the minute. Trying to get a gig. With COVID, it's difficult, obviously, but I have a plan, and I'm hoping that maybe next summer, we'll see how it goes. But that would be, I think, a good time for me to start getting into the gigging world. Yeah.
So you've not actually played a gig up until this point. You've been at home producing.
Exactly. Yeah, I haven't actually been out in the real world gigging. I have been putting on shows in the office here in the studio. But yeah, and then uploading them to Mixcloud online, which is a website that you can upload mixes to. So I basically do a DJ set here and then upload it then to Mixcloud.
Yeah. Can you tell, where did the idea come from, that, say, doing the home gig other than COVID? Is this a popular thing, say, amongst DJs now, that instead of being, because you were locked down for so long, that you started up your own gigs at home? Is that how that?
Well, that's actually getting a lot more popular now because of COVID. A lot of producers and DJs are getting on the decks and actually are live streaming, which is something I've looked into as well, and something that I'm hoping to do in the near future. At the minute, I've just made the production, basically made the DJ set without a camera, without live streaming, and then put that up there as a recorded set. But a lot of people are live streaming now, and they're making a bit of money out of it as well, I guess. With Mixcloud, it's very good. They have like a subscription, what do you call it? A subscription account basically for people to go in and pay to see their favorite DJs.
Yeah. Okay. That's very interesting there, because the argument now at the moment is that artists and musicians in particular, because of over the last 20 years, say beginning with Napster and file sharing and stuff like that, artists' incomes have been decimated to a point where they're practically non-existent.
Yeah.
Maybe that is certain genres. Maybe within your genre, which is dance music, that's not the case. It's something that you can still generate a small income, maybe not a mansion-sized income, but a small one. Would I be correct in saying that?
Well, I would imagine that any kind of music is basically affected by the ability to stream it now for free on sites like Spotify and Deezer and all the rest of them. People can just log on there for a free account and then stream whatever they want. And you do get a little bit of payout from those streaming services, but it's very, very little. You need to get a lot of streams to actually make any kind of money out of it. I think where the real money is in terms of any type of genre of music, it's probably live gigging, and then second to that would be merchandise. I think
Yeah. You should say the live gigging, because if you think of it now, say the bands that used to sell the truckloads of albums like Metallica and Bruce Springsteen and U2, they would be still the most sought after live tickets in the world.
Yeah.
With regards, say, gigging live, you mentioned something about the feel of the music and how it affects you. Can you describe a gig like atmosphere for the, because myself, I've never really been to a dance gig. I don't think Club 2 and Liberties counts. So I mean, can you describe what it's like, what it feels like? You know, what are the people you see, the merchandise you mentioned there? Because I believe the merchandise within dance music is very different. Not very different, but it is different to say what you'd see at what the kind of gig I go to, which is a Slayer gig.
Yeah, I mean, like do you mean the merchandise like kind of on sale at the gig?
Yeah, I mean, just the gig in general. What's it like? You know, where you know,
yeah. I mean, it's basically what I'm talking about in terms of electronic music and what I produce. You'd be going to like a nightclub basically. But like you say, it wouldn't be kind of Liberties Club 2, you know what I mean? No, it would be a club that has a good sound system, that isn't too overpowering, and that you can really kind of experience the music. It's kind of difficult to explain. Like I think a lot of people do get it. You know, they do feel kind of really good on the dance floor, listening to music. You know, but with me, I can hear kind of certain things in the music and a good sound system, and that really kind of makes me feel really good. You know, because especially when you're mixing different songs. The DJ might be mixing in the next song, and it might be a really, really good song that you really like. But there's only a wee tiny bit of it you can hear, but you know what's coming, and it's like maybe a film where there's a scene coming up and you know what's building to a scene. And the crescendo, then it comes then, and it's just really good. So it's kind of similar to watching a film, that you really like.
That's amazing. You know, the nuances really kind of work, don't they?
They really do, like, and you really experience it, with a good sound system in a club, and I've been lucky enough to be in a few different clubs around Europe, like that have really good sound systems, that I really want to go back to as well,
Yeah, well, obviously as a DJ, but as a punter as well.
Oh, as a punter as well, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
What are these venues? Because, like, I mean, a lot of people, my audience seem to be a cross mix of people from different mediums, and like myself, I know nothing about dance music, but if I was ever interested in going to a place, where would you recommend, say, in Europe?
Well, Germany is very, very good for electronic dance music, and especially techno music. That's kind of where it started, kind of with bands like Kraftwerk and all,
All right, yeah.
Barcelona actually as well. I was in Barcelona at one point, and the Capital Club there in the city was really, really good. I remember being in there with a friend of mine, and just really taking it all in. DJ was fantastic, did a fantastic set, and he actually had some of the tracks that I was listening to at the time that I really, really liked. And it was like that experience where he's mixing in certain tracks, and you're like, yeah, this is really, really good, So Barcelona, Spain, Germany would be a good one, and Spain, and I mean, different places around Europe would have really good clubs,
In Ireland now, say, where's the place that's the budding venue?
Ireland, Ireland's a bit different. Like, I haven't been to many gigs recently down in Dublin or Galway or Cork for that matter. And really, Ireland's a wee bit different in that it doesn't have the same kind of level of underground that say Germany and Barcelona would have. It's kind of for bigger events, really.
We have to settle for Club 2 and Liberties, is it?
Exactly, yeah. And it was such a shock actually going from Liberties to the capital in Barcelona, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell? Yeah. So, but yeah. I'll get an earful from Liberties now, but but so it is a bit different. There are some lovely little clubs, especially around Derry. Was it Club 57 actually? Beside Peter O'Donnell's, I think it's Club 57. Allows in really good sound system, and they've got some great DJs in there as well, and some local acts as well, who do really, really good stuff, really good work. So that's a really nice place. And if I was starting out, I'd love to get a big gig in there somewhere.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's funny you should mention Derry City, because for as long as I've been about, Derry has always had a remarkable underground music scene. Um,
mm,
like, I mean, I'm now completely not the same genre. If you go back to, say, the 70s, they used to have a place called the Casbah. It used to be there, where the Foyle Side shopping centre is now, there on Carlisle Road. I believe it was around there. And what it was it was a bar that had been bombed, and then they built a porter cabin around it, and then built blocks around it again. And within it was, I think, probably, some would argue, probably Ireland's first premier punk rock venue, which
right,
of course was home to the Undertones, who,
right, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, and it's that's no longer there. But then the music scene has always been very strong in Derry, and very, very eclectic. For you to say Derry to me, that doesn't surprise me at all. Does it surprise you?
No, not at all, because it was always the case. Always, if you were going up for a night out in Derry, the live music scene was always good. And I think that's probably down to the local acts, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's been some great musicians that kind of, there's I remember seeing bands, again, and going back to bands in the Guidor, the Dunlow.
yeah, we
Um,
don't. Yeah,
yeah, remember Bound for Boston was the other one at the time.
yeah,
And you just looked, and there was a level of musicianship there that was, it was as good as what you'd see in the music scene in New York, or in London. It's just, a lot of these people probably didn't want the break, but they just loved what they were doing.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's true. Definitely. It's kind of a strange thing, because you probably would go to Belfast and wouldn't get the same thing in there.
Yeah,
Derry just seemed to have that bit of special kind of thing about it,
yeah.
especially live music. Yeah,
It has its own, it has its own wee thing going there. Always has, and hopefully it always will. Um,
yeah,
but going back to, say, the music itself, and I
yeah,
was listening to your EP, Not That We Know, that was released in August.
yeah.
And can you tell us through that? So there's some very interesting, some great songs in it, but interesting ideas that are in there. Can you tell us how you go about writing one of these songs?
Well, I don't actually have a goal in mind when I start producing. Now, that I guess is true for the first EP. I didn't have anything in mind. I didn't have any genre in mind. I knew it was going to be electronic stuff, because that's what I've been used to producing for years. And what I actually did in the music production courses that I attended in Derry. So for that first EP, I just kind of sat down, got maybe a drum beat going, kind of built up that, and then I kind of messed around with the different instruments inside Ableton software. It's kind of made for dance music, and yeah, just kind of starting to make bass lines out of that, and anything that gelled together. And I kind of just trusted my ear, and basically kind of lay down melodies over basses, and then the drum beats as well, and then different kind of effects and stuff as well. Yeah, but yeah, just kind of built it from that. Yeah, and
You said something. You said something there again, and I've heard this being said with regards. You said trusting your ear. That
yeah,
is really interesting, because I heard an argument there that there's one particular band at the moment who have been going 40 years. Now, they're a band, but they no longer listen to their music. They watch it on a screen.
right.
Trusting your ear seems to be a real throwback to the old way of writing music. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
It's basically, when I say trust, it's trusting that it sounds good. A lot of the electronic stuff is about kind of sound production, and trusting that everything's in key, everything sounds good, the production quality is good, the mixing is good, because I mix my own stuff as well. And actually, at the minute, I do everything myself, so I master my own tracks too, which is kind of a more advanced version of mixing. But yeah, just trusting that first of all, the track that I build and compose sounds good, and it makes sense going from the start to the finish. You know, there's nothing kind of in there that is kind of strange sounding or kind of throws people off. So making sure that it sounds good like that, and then making sure that the mix is perfect and the mastering is good as well, you know. But trusting that it's a good enough production to be able to put out, you know. And luckily enough, I kind of do think to myself, right, once something's finished, it mightn't be perfect, but it's good enough to put out there, you know. So it's trusting that process too, like trusting that it's good enough to put out. And hopefully you don't get any, you know, terrible feedback on it.
Yeah.
But like that's I guess, but yeah.
So it's you're talking about there's a primal instinct here within any musician that when they are writing something, they are taking a leap of faith with it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, the leap of faith, I guess, comes in just at the point of release, you know, because I'd say a lot of people kind of fall down on actually pressing the button and uploading the actual tracks because they're worried about something being wrong in the track, or worried about the feedback that they get. But I kind of understand that and realize that, and I don't let that hold me back, you know. I get to the tracks to a certain level of production that I'm happy with, and I think they're okay to put out, and I actually just upload them and put them out there and get them out there and then move on to the next thing, you know. So that's so I just trust that process, you know.
Right. You mentioned earlier on there, bringing us back to Derry again, that you attended music production courses in Derry. Can you just tell us a little bit more about them? They're popping up. They're very popular. I don't know what takes place on them. I could tell you what takes place in the performing arts diploma, but I couldn't tell you about a music production diploma or degree. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I attended, the first one was part-time, and it was in Derry, and it was a fella called Johnny Delaney. He'd be well known on the scene in Derry now. I don't know if you know him yourself, but he has his own production company called Moving Music Academy, and I attended a course there, and he taught DJing as well, which is one thing I wanted to learn too, alongside the production. So I did that for a while, and that was all basically electronic based. So we would been using software like Ableton, we would put a track together, and then actually once the track's finished, we go and DJ, and kind of mix tracks in with each other, the ones that we produced, and other tracks that we would have got from, we would have downloaded, like to be able to play out on a CD. Back in the day, it was CDJs back then. It wasn't MP3s, so we had CDs burned out and then mixed then on CDJs, which are basically kind of electronic vinyl turntables. So that was the first course, and then the second one then I really wanted to do, because the Moving Music Academy one kind of whet my appetite for it. So I went and did a HND in the Tech in Derry, the Northwest Regional College it's called now. And I had a producer there, or a lecturer called Mark Eoghan, and he brought us through different genres now. But there was a genre where it was electronic, and it could be maybe techno or drum and bass or whatever, just everything that falls under the electronic genre. So you could choose to do that, and that's what I did, and learned the software, a good bit about how to produce on Ableton. And also other software too. There was Cubase and there was Reason as well. So I learned a good few different software there, and learned how to produce. And also they had guests in, professionals in the industry that would have been producers, and they would have did special courses with us on mixing, and some on mastering as well. So that's kind of where I started to learn mixing and got really interested in that. And that was the start of me being able to kind of produce my own stuff and mix my own stuff as well, and then kind of master it as well. So, it's not good.
The software came up with a previous guest as well. What software do you use?
So I use Ableton now. Yeah, just solely Ableton. You can do everything you want in Ableton.
Okay.
So just kind of learning more and more about that,
That will be the choice between, say, dance producers, is it?
Yeah, it would be actually. Yeah, you see it a lot in electronic music magazines. The number one spot would usually always be Ableton, just because it's the way it's built, like on the interface. It's kind of built around creating electronic beats and electronic dance music. But there are other ones as well that you can use. But I just kind of drifted towards Ableton because I just like it.
Yeah, it's good talking to you about you must have influences when you're doing this, because no one starts out kind of just, no one starts out, writing stuff or painting stuff that they've seen something that kind of encourages them to do it. Like, who would be your influences?
All right, so the electronic side of things, deadmau5. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a Canadian producer. He's one of the biggest DJs in the world. His real name's Joel Zimmerman, and he does different kind of progressive house type stuff. He's moved into techno stuff now, actually under a different alias called Test Pilot. But he was a big influence because he started back in about 2008 or so. That's kind of where he broke into the scene big time. And I was listening to his stuff kind of when I was starting off producing back in 2012, and I just really, really like his stuff. It's very kind of nuanced. Like there's some kind of big EDM bangers in there as well, but like I really prefer the slower kind of progressive house stuff, which is kind of what he's well known for. So definitely him in terms of electronic stuff. And before that, I would have been big into kind of industrial rock and alternative rock. So there's still a bit of an influence in the productions from the bands like Nine Inch Nails and Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, those kind of guys.
Yeah.
So I kind of pick some stuff from them as well, and it's kind of a melting pot of that, Nine Inch Nails, industrial rock, electro, EDM, progressive house, that kind of stuff, So that's kind of what I've been influenced by.
Because when I heard you were doing dance music, I went, what? Because I seem to remember probably one of the first conversations I ever had with you, and funnily enough, in Club 1 in Liberties.
Right.
Whereas you were talking about Arlo Guthrie and I'm playing in McGrory's in Culdaff.
Right. Yeah.
Were you always into dance music, or was this something that just kind of developed as the years go by, that you heard it one night, you kind of went, oh, that's an interesting sound?
It's definitely the latter again. It developed because like back when I was listening to like alternative rock, Nine Inch Nails, I wouldn't go near techno. I just wasn't something that I liked. But I think that's because I was just listening to bad techno. I didn't really know much about electronic music at all back then. It's only kind of when I started doing the sound production courses that kind of really got into it, and then listening to tracks like Strobe from deadmau5, which is a really kind of laid back progressive house track, lovely track, like really kind of class fills and drops and all. Stuff like that there really kind of got me into it then. And then I started listening to techno, good techno, like, and it really kind of jumped out at me. And I realized the amount of production that goes into really good techno, because the techno that I was listening to was just kind of like four on the floor, bang, 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 bang. And there was no real melody or anything got there to it. So it didn't really appeal to me. Mm-hmm. But nowadays, the techno's kind of evolved beyond that. All kind of electronic music has evolved beyond that, really. That kind of four to the floor stuff. And yeah, I'm just kind of really into it now, but it's definitely something that's developed. Yeah.
Can you remember the first time you heard it that you kind of went, oh, that's interesting?
Yeah, it was probably a YouTube clip on deadmau5, probably one of his productions that I heard. Strobe really just sticks out for me because I remember that, but probably just seeing things online. From deadmau5, and that's kind of
so nothing from Club 2 and Liberties, no?
No, that's not. That was all kind of mainstream stuff, like mainstream pop and all. So it wasn't really, they were good songs, but like it wasn't kind of the real quality stuff like you'd get in the underground,
Okay, so right. See, this is where I'm completely lost with dance music. I know nothing about it. You're after saying what we heard in Club Two was mainstream pop and not underground. And I always thought what was going on in Club Two was completely underground. So that just shows you how much I know about. Can you can you actually tell us what the fucking difference is? Because I'm at a loss on this one.
Yeah, well, like pop mainstream is you're talking about like the mega hits, like Adele, Rihanna, all the major pop stars, and their music is good, like, but it's produced to a level where it's almost kind of overproduced,
Right.
And it's sometimes with those artists they make a great hit, but then their follow-ups maybe aren't as good, or they're kind of just going off the back of their own brand and their own kind of momentum that they build up from the hits, But some of those tracks are really, really good, but like the quality I think is still in the underground. The underground music is more sort of, well, from acts that you wouldn't really normally hear, definitely not on the radio anyway. But you just know there's quality there, and they have like maybe certain hooks in there that are just hookier than the pop stuff,
All the good stuff comes from the underground. That's my opinion. Is that good stuff, like the real good stuff, not like you hear good songs on the mainstream, but if you want to hear something that you're going to really kind of emotionally connect with, or be more kind of, maybe you're a bit more open to different ideas, it's the underground is where you have to be. It's not in the mainstream.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
And for like the likes of techno, that is a huge underground scene. Like you wouldn't really hear any, even nowadays, any kind of popular techno. That doesn't really exist, Like there are some massive acts out there now, like that do techno, but that's basically the underground scene in a nutshell, There's no big hits in there,
So what's the plan, Eoghan? Where do you want to bring this?
So the priority now is getting a live gig somewhere, maybe hopefully more than one. So hopefully getting it maybe next summertime might be a good time to get back out. Hopefully after COVID, we'll see how it goes. But that's the plan for now. Obviously, I'm producing as well, producing the whole time. I've got another EP coming out. I'm hoping to get that out, let's say April or May time next year. And then after that, then I'll plan to do another follow-up single, like I did the last time with Reflection. And just keep on producing, get that live gig, continue on with the radio show that I have on Florida FM, and just keep at it. Yeah.
With Flirt FM, that must be a great kind of reaching point for other people, is it?
It's brilliant for networking, because people, like, I send out word on the likes of Reddit to get people to send in tracks, and then a lot of those tracks I play because they're really, really good tracks, and they really fit the show. Like, so, and a lot of them would be artists that aren't really well known at all, or artists who are just starting out. So I love being able to support them and show them that you can get onto radio and people are listening and people do really like it. Some great feedback from the show, like from the different people around that are listening, the audience. And it's a great networking experience.
Finally, I asked that question I want to ask all people who devote themselves to their craft. What makes you do it?
I love it. It's just, and I get such a good feeling off it. Like going back to the start there, we were chatting about feeling really good on the dance floor, listening to the music. I feel like if I am the DJ and producing that stuff and being able to give that experience to somebody else, then I'm happy out. Like, and then also obviously go to gigs as a pundit as well, and just keep on doing that, and just really, really love the music that I'm producing and listening to. in terms of other artists. Like. So yeah, because I love it. Yeah.
And that concludes this episode of the Recluse's Cookbook. Thank you for listening.